My wife has become fixated on her dead husband since getting pregnant with our first baby. How do I bring this up without hurting her? My wife and I have been together for almost 4 years and married for a year. She is 16 weeks pregnant with our first baby. Since becoming pregnant, she seems to have become sort of fixated on her deceased first husband, and I do not know how to talk about this with her without hurting her or making it sound like I am jealous of a dead guy. Her first husband died in a motorcycle accident in late 2020. He was only 34. They had been trying for a baby at the time. She was not looking for a relationship when we started dating. She lived around the corner from my parents and walked her dog every morning and every night. My parents became friendly with her and decided they should play matchmaker after I made a comment about thinking she was really cute when I was over at their house one day and saw her walking her dog. She was really open with me about everything that had happened with her first husband. I understood that it was a huge part of her life, and I never expected her to erase that part of her history or pretend like he never existed. He came up occasionally, but not constantly. It seemed normal to me. Something has changed since she got pregnant. At least, I think it has only been happening since then. I have noticed her frequently looking at old pictures of him on her phone, looking him up online, and just sitting there looking at the street view of the house they used to share. She is bringing him up a lot more often, just making a lot of offhanded comments about things they did together. This week, she asked if we could use his name as our baby's middle name. We are probably not going to find out if it is a boy or girl until the baby is born, but his name was unisex, so it could go either way. She said she knows not as the first name, even though she would really prefer to ask for that, but she knows that would be going too far. I told her I would have to think about it, but inside, my initial reaction was absolutely not. I genuinely feel terrible for this guy. He honestly sounds like somebody I would have liked to hang out with. What happened to him is unfair. I guess I should be happy because I am alive, I have a wife I love, we are starting a family, and this poor guy is not going to have any of that. So, is it really a big deal if I let her use his name? It is just weird and sort of hurtful for me, though. This should be a happy time for us, but for some reason she is being pulled back into all of her memories of him. I want to bring it up to her. I do not think she realizes I have seen what she has been looking at on her phone every day. I have not been snooping. When she is sitting where I can see her phone while she is using it, it is hard to miss what she is looking at. She has been extremely emotional for the past 4 months, so I am worried that bringing this up will not go over well, and I do not want to upset her. I also do not want to come across as an insecure jerk who is jealous of a dead man. How can I bring all of this up with her in the most sensitive way possible while also not just giving in to this whole name thing just because I feel bad? Final update, I am posting a quick update because I am continuing to get new comments and advice on my original post, but the conversation I was seeking advice for has already sort of come to a head with my wife. I appreciate the comments and the advice that was given, and I think it helped prepare me for what came next yesterday evening. We originally had several parties to go to on Memorial Day, but yesterday morning she told me she did not feel up to going. I realized it was probably the best segue I was going to get to ask her about what was going on. So I asked her what was wrong, what was going on, and told her to please talk to me. She said nothing was wrong and that she just did not want to go anywhere, did not want to get dressed, and wanted to stay home in bed all day. She switched the topic to her baby bump and how excited she was that it had suddenly popped out and she really looked pregnant now. It looked flat forever, and she had been anxiously waiting for there to be something there. Now it really seemed like overnight it had become very obvious, and she could not get over it. I do not like calling it a bump, but what else is there to call it? I do not know. Bump sounds gross to me and not like a word an adult man should be saying. Anyway, she said she just wanted it to be us that day and that she wanted to cuddle in bed and have sex all day. That is literally what she said. So much for me getting her to talk about how she had been feeling. She does that when she is uncomfortable with a topic somebody has brought up. She switches topics to something happy and cheerful. But she genuinely seemed happy, and it was sort of a hard offer to turn down, so I decided not to push her because I know her well enough to know it would not work. Later in the afternoon, she decided to get up and take a shower. When she got out, she told me she did not want me to be mad, but she really felt like she wanted to go over to her former husband's parents' house to tell them about the baby. She felt like she should tell them in person and like it was just something she needed to do. We had not talked about him or the name or anything that day, but obviously this had been on her mind, and maybe she was feeling guilty about how his family might feel. I have met his parents. They are super cool. Well, his dad is a little scary and threatened to kill me if I hurt her, but you can tell they genuinely love her and that she is part of that family. I asked her if she wanted me to come with her. I was not trying to force myself into the situation, but I wanted to offer just in case she wanted my support. I did not feel like I needed to be there. She said she just wanted to go alone, and I was fine with that. She was gone for several hours. When she came home, her face and eyes were all red and puffy, and as soon as she walked in the door, she hugged me and just started sobbing and apologizing. She kept saying she was so sorry, this was not fair to me, she did not want to hurt me, but she missed him so badly right now and could not stop thinking about him and did not know why. I told her I know, that I had noticed, and that it was okay. I cannot pretend to fully understand it because I am not her and I have never been in her position. I felt like she wanted to talk but did not want to say too much to me because she did not want to hurt me. I asked her if she wanted to talk about what happened at his parents' house. She said both of his parents were so happy for her and for us. They both cried, and she cried about how much she missed him, and they were saying really nice things about me. She said she just had to feel close to him, and she cannot imagine how horrible that is for me to hear. She gave most of his stuff to his parents once we moved in together. I did not make her give away his belongings. She held on to everything after he died, literally anything and everything, and it would have been awkward living among all his things. I mean, she still had his 3 motorcycles, including the one he died on, sitting in her garage at that time. So I am not just talking about some little mementos or clothes. She said she was ready to release those things at the time. She gave the motorcycles to his parents because they had the room to store them, and his dad rides, so they would not just waste away. That was something special between him and his dad, so she knew they would be taken care of. She told me she asked to see his bikes while she was over at his parents' house because that was like his second greatest love, and they were custom made and everything. She started sobbing all over again while telling me they got rid of the one he died on. She wishes they would have told her. It was too hard for them to see it every day, and it was not operable, so they kept the other 2 but got rid of that one. She just sat there sobbing, saying it was not fair that they did not tell her and that she wanted it. She does not ride motorcycles, by the way. But she was already online trying to track it down and talking about buying it back. That part feels a little unhealthy to me. His parents live in the same little neighborhood where the house they own together was. So she said she drove by there, and then she drove to where he died, which was only 5 minutes away from their house. I generally do not try to impose on her grief or tell her how she should handle things. Honestly, it has been a long time since I have seen her cry like this over it, and rarely have I ever felt like what she was saying or doing was at a concerning level. But this time, I really felt like she was just torturing herself, and it did not really seem healthy. Literally searching online to see if she could find his bike and revisiting where he died. I do not know, because I admit I have never lost anyone remotely that close to me before. The whole time she was crying about this, she kept saying she was a horrible wife and that she understood if I wanted to leave her. She said she did not know why this was happening and that all she could think about was his death. I told her maybe she should try thinking about positive things, even going somewhere that has some sort of positive connection rather than where he died. I am not leaving her over this, and I feel so bad that she is seriously worried I would leave her because of this, especially when she is pregnant with my child of all times. I am a little too committed now to back out. I accepted this and was aware of it multiple times as our relationship progressed. There were multiple points when I could have backed out, and I let her know all of this. But I was also honest and let her know that I hope we can get through this so we can enjoy this experience together, and that if there is anything I can do, I want her to let me help her. Not get over it, but get through it and still be able to be happy. At this point, what more can I do? I think I just need to continue focusing on the positive things we are doing together and hope she engages in those things with me and that her grief does not swallow her up. I have made her aware that I am here if she wants to talk. I doubt that makes her feel any less guilty for whatever thoughts she is having. But how else can I show her that I mean it? I think this may just be something we need to ride out. I am scared I will push her away if I start trying to demand she go to grief counseling. It would probably be good for her, but I know her and how she reacts to that type of stuff. I do not think I will bring up the name thing anytime soon, but I am going to try to find it in myself to let her use the name if it will really mean that much to her. I will not promise it right now, but I realize maybe I am being selfish about that one. At least it is not a name that I hate.